Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome in. As you can see, this is my wildcard draft, so we are good to go for game week 6. As much as we can say we're good to go. Yeah, I mean, some decisions to be made for sure. I'm not sure if anyone has seen the news about João Pedro. He only trained for the first time yesterday. So I'm not sure if that was actually Friday or Thursday that he trained for the first time, but either way, I mean, it sounds like he's going to be touch and go for the weekend. If anything, I think he'll start. I do think he'll start. The question is whether he gets enough minutes to justify me going for Richarlison instead, and that would be a choice for sure. I'd be banking a few transfers is the only issue with that, but the upside of Richarlison over the next 2 to 3 weeks is very tempting, especially when João Pedro plays Brighton, then they play Liverpool. Not ideal. Tokuras, hey, what's up, man? Good to have you in the stream. You say Ndai or Kudus? Between Ndai and Kudus, I would say Ndai is definitely a better FPL pick. He's on penalties. He gets a good bit of attacking potential as well as Defcon. Kudus is a good pick, but not as good. And you say, and Timber and Calafiori both are in my team. Is that okay? Or if you have any suggestions, you can say, mate, just like always, I trust you. Well, I'm glad I have your trust. Yeah, I think double Arsenal defence is more than viable. Like, even triple Arsenal defence. Timber and Calafiori, I would say they are good value if they continue to start. My only concern is with Timber, his minutes going forward. I think they're fairly secure, but there's always a chance he gets benched for Ben White, and it's just not a risk I'm willing to take personally. Hence why I've gone Gabriel. Varfiel, good morning. Good morning to you too, man. Jeevan, good morning. Kimmy, hey, what's up, man? Keith, love the content. Appreciate it, man. Would you have Foden, Kudus, Richarlison, or Doku, Kudus, João Pedro on a wild card? Not sure if double Spurs attack is too much. I would go Foden, Kudus, Richarlison for sure. For sure. I really like that. And I don't think double Spurs attack is that big of an issue. They have really good fixtures in the next 3. Really good. I might go double Spurs attack too. It's not too late for me. VC, morning mate. Start 2 of Wood, Gakpo and Dewsbury Hall. I'd be starting... I'd start Wood for sure, and then between Gakpo and Dewsbury Hall, it's got to be Gakpo. Yeah, it's got to be Gakpo. Yeah, I think so. It's just higher upside than Dewsbury Hall. Opoku says good morning. Good morning to you too, man. Kimmy, I wildcarded this week. This is the team: Donnarumma, Udogie, Anderson, Senesi. You've got Salah, Semenyo, Reinders, Kudus, Gravenberch, Haaland, João Pedro. On the bench, you've got Dubravka, Timber, Esteve, and Foster. Plan is to bench boost game week 8. Yeah, really like it. Really like it, man. One thing I would say is the Gravenberch pick is maybe a bit of a hype train, bit of a knee-jerk one. I do think there's better players in and around his price, such as Caicedo, who are much more consistent with their DEFCON points, but I still like Gravenberch as a pick, and he's having a really good season. He's a great player. Harry Widdop, good morning to you too, man. Jeevan, does your wildcard need to be so differential when I feel like the template wildcard is differential enough? See, the thing is, there's so many people wildcarding that the template is not differential because everyone's, like, so many people are wildcarding into the template. And to be fair, most of my team is pretty template. Like, Raya and Senesi and Gabriel are all very template. In my midfield, I've got Semenyo, Reinders, and Bruno, which basically everyone on wildcard has. And then up top, Haaland and João Pedro. The only ones that I've changed are Evan Nilsson, Xavi, and Gvardiol. Arguably, maybe Van de Ven, but I do see a lot of teams with him too. Also Gvardiol. I don't think it's too differential, but I'm just trying to go differential in a few of the spots. That's all. Ryan says, hey mate, how are you? I'm doing well, man. Bench only 2 from here. Anderson against Villa, Gabriel and Gyökeres against Newcastle, Mbumo against Brentford, Udogie and Xavi against Wolves, Doku and Rangers against Burnley, João Pedro against Brighton. Mate, that is the biggest benching headache. I would say bench Gabriel against Newcastle and Maybe bench Anderson against Villa. Yeah, that's what I would go for. Jeevan, what do you think of Matoma? I have a bad feeling about Semenyo. Yeah, I like Matoma as a pick. I think Brighton picks are going slightly under the radar, especially just because they play Chelsea away this game week. But yeah, I'm not sure what your bad feeling about Semenyo is, that he's going to do really well or that he's not going to do well. Because I think he'll continue to do very well. At least I hope so. Varfiel, struggling with my midfield choice as part of my Haaland move. Foden, Semenyo or Mbumo? Already played my wildcard. I think that's easily got to be Semenyo, just based off how good he's looked so far. His price will continue to rise, and I think he is worth the price that he is right now. He could even keep going up, and I'd still go for him, to be honest. So yeah, I quite like Semenyo between those three. Jeevan Gill, are you not worried about King's expected minutes? Yeah, I mean, it's something to keep in mind, but for me, King is a player that I hopefully never have to play him. Like literally one game week on my bench, on my, like, I guess twice a season on my bench boost. But let's say up until game week 19, I'm only going to play him once, and that's on my bench boost. So I just hope that he gets something in that game, and if he doesn't, so be it. At least he frees up funds for the rest of my team, which is why I have him in there. That's the decision for me. But that's why I like King. Like if I had someone like Dewsbury Hall or Caicedo, like they're much better. Like they are worth the extra 0.5 million to get them into your team. The only concern for me with them is I'd be having a bit of a benching headache every week, and I'm just more than happy to have someone like King in my team that I don't play and he frees up funds for everyone else, and I just bench boost with him one game of the season. John, how's it going, mate? Any idea on who to start? Midfielders are Fernandes, Reinders, Foden, Semenyo, and Kudus. Forwards are Richarlison, Haaland, and João Pedro. Wow, that's a very tough one. You'd probably want to start every single one of those players. Honestly, that's the strongest midfield I've ever seen, by the way. I mean, maybe you'd actually, like, you're going to start Bruno, you're going to start Reinders and Foden against Burnley, you're going to start Semenyo against Leeds and Wolves, and Kudus against Wolves, Richarlison against Wolves, Haaland against Burnley, obviously. So maybe it's João Pedro against Brighton, based off the comments that we saw about João Pedro. Yeah, that would be my answer. Harry Widdop, how's it going, mate? Struggling to decide on a 5 million mid as you have bench boost. Xavi over Ndiaye 2. Do you think Kieran Dewsbury Hall is the best option to cover Everton? Not sure, as I may go Xavi to Ndiaye at some point. I think Ndiaye is the best 5 million mid, to be honest. I think he is. And I know people are saying about his 4 yellow cards, etc., but no, I do think he is the best one. And although it may prevent you from going for Ndiaye, I do think Xavi's a good pick. Hence why I have him in my team. So yeah, I still think you should go for Kieran Dewsbury Hall. I quite like it. Rainey, you wouldn't have a Salah and Haaland draft on Wildcard. No, I don't, but I've seen some good ones on Twitter, and yeah, it's something that hasn't tempted me too much based off how the rest of the team looks, and also just based off what I've seen from Salah so far this season. I mean, I'm going to eat my words here, but I don't think he's not impressed me from an FPL perspective, let's say. Varfiel, currently starting Anderson over Porro since Porro could be benched. Oh, I didn't even know that. Porro could be benched. I'm not sure where you heard that, but that's an interesting one for any Porro owners. But I do think if you're wildcarding, I wouldn't go for Porro anyways. I'd go for one of Van Ven or Romero in that Spurs defence. Umair says, Timber or Calafiori if budget is issue for Gabriel. I'd probably go Calafiori. I just think his minutes are a bit more secure. He's a bit more injury prone though. It's a tough one. Matt Taylor, morning mate. Can we discuss non-Haaland captain options? Thanks. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think, I mean, honestly, Foden is a great pick. I also think Semenyo is a great pick, and Bruno Fernandes. So those are my other three that I would consider on wildcard. Foden, Semenyo, Bruno. Those are the three that I like. I'd probably have, if I went for one of them, I'd probably go for Foden if I had him. Between Semenyo and Bruno, I'd probably go for Semenyo, honestly. He's just looked so good. Bison says, What do you think of benching Watkins for playing Lacroix? No, and I start Anderson against Villa. Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, here's the thing: if you're benching your what was a 9 million asset for a 4.5 million asset, what state of the game are we in? That is, yeah. I mean, that's. Oh, sorry, you're benching him for Lacroix, who's 5 mil, but yeah, that's just the position that Watkins owners are in, and hence why I wildcarded him and Rodgers out of my team. I was sick of seeing them score no goals every week. But yeah, listen, Fulham are a good defence. Like, Fulham are a good defence. But Villa at home, they've just scored a goal. Watkins had a penalty and missed it. Honestly, I just think the goals are coming for Watkins. The goals are coming for him, and I wouldn't want to start a Crystal Palace defender against Liverpool. So I'd be starting. I would definitely be starting a Watkins over Lacroix. Just way higher upside. Way higher. Okay. Giovanni De Benedetti, who to downgrade, Wirtz and Watkins to. Thinking about Foden and Mateta / Evan Nilsson. Yeah, I like Foden and Evan Nilsson there. If I had to pick, I like the Foden and Evan Nilsson one. Really like it, man. Okay, Matthew. Hi, Stephen. I hope you have a great Saturday. Well, thank you very much. Need an opinion on your free hit. You've got Sells, Romero, Gvardiol, Senesi, Kudus, Grealish, Foden, Mbumo, João Pedro, Haaland, and Richarlison. Okay, I like the free hit. One thing I will say is I'm not sure João Pedro needs to be in there. I'd maybe replace him with Evan Nilsson against Leeds away. I really like him. And I would also try to throw Semenyo in there too. I would try to throw Semenyo in there. Yeah, get some Bournemouth players against Leeds. That's what I would say. Okay. Nelson, how's it going, man? You've 3 free transfers. Should I hold or use? You've got Petrovic, Dubravka, Collins, Williams, Lacroix, Van de Ven, Reynaldo, Reinders, Garner, Dango, Salah, Ndoye, Wood, Haaland, Gyökeres. I think you can make a few changes to this team. Like, I'm looking at maybe the likes of Dango, Ndoye, maybe even a keeper transfer, but I would say Dango, Ndoye, and Collins are some players that you should be considering moving on for. I would say the best thing you can do is look at who I'm wildcarding in. Look at the players who I have on wildcard, because I'm not sure what kind of budget you're working with. Take some of those players out and see which players you can fit in with your budget that I have in my wildcard team, or that other people have too, because there is some picks that I've not gone for that are still good picks. Evan says, why is Bruno a better pick than Saka? I just think Saka's minutes will be built up. I know that Madueke is out injured, so Saka is going to start. I fully expect Saka to start. I don't expect him to play 90 minutes whatsoever. They have Nwaneri and they have Max Dowman, 2 players that have played in the Prem, and they're quality players. So they're quality players to come on for Saka, which I think will happen. So it's just a minutes thing for me with Saka. Also, Bruno's on pens, and we're not 100% sure that Saka is. Wesley says, hi, sell Watkins or Wood for Haaland. I'd be selling Watkins for Haaland, for sure. Stephen Gill, Byrne and Richards or Tarkowski and Rodon. I like Byrne and Richards there. I think Newcastle defence is being slept on, and I've been saying it all week, and then I go without them. I feel like such a coward, but the rotation just didn't work with my team, unfortunately. Excuse me. Also, you can see they play Arsenal this week, so not the best time to have a Newcastle defender in. But I've had Byrne in my wildcard all week up until yesterday, and I replaced him with Gvardiol just because of how the rotation works with my team. But if you can find a way that Byrne rotates into your team nicely, then I like it. And I'm not sure about Tarkowski as a pick. I know he's got great DEFCON, but I don't see too many clean sheets for Everton outside of this West Ham fixture. Okay, Lewis Bamford, Captain Semenyo or Salah? I would captain Semenyo there, to be honest. Like, it's just, if you're not going for Haaland, you might as well go for a big upside pick. And Semenyo's been so good. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying not to captain Salah, but yeah, I'd be going for Semenyo this week. I really like him. John, cheers, man. I trust you with my life. Not sure if you should be doing that, John, but I appreciate the vote of confidence. Okay, Simon, how's it going, man? Just saying hello as you make your Saturday morning sourdough. That sounds idyllic. listen to your stream. I have 5 DEFCON defenders ready to go with Haaland, Mo, Gyökeres, Fernandes, and Ndai. Feeling good. Wow, that is. I like the heavy on the premiums with Haaland, Salah, and Gyökeres and Fernandes. I'd love to see what the rest of your team looks like, but there's so many good budget options that you can just get away with going for these, these premium options. Fitting 4 into your team is nice though. That is very nice. I'd be interested to hear, what the rest of your team looks like, Simon. But I'll leave you to make your sourdough. Your Saturday morning sourdough has to be done. Offside Footy F1, hello to you too, man. I see this wildcard standard draft across major accounts on X. Don't you think it would be tough to get green hours if everyone has almost the same team? Yeah, I mean, that's a huge concern for me. Like, I'm 6 millionth ranked right now, and I'm trying to find ways to be a bit different. My method of doing that is by going for the likes of Xavi, going for Evan Nielsen. And there is a small chance, as you see in my poll, that I sell João Pedro for Richarlison and go for Richarlison over the next few game weeks, which, it's a decision. It is a decision. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, there's just, the template is there because the players in the teams are so strong. Like Semenyo, Reinders, Bruno, these are 3 players that everyone basically has on wildcard. Maybe not Bruno, but they have them because they're so good. I'm just trying to find little ways to differentiate, but while still keeping a few of the template picks that are there because they're hopefully going to get the most points. But yeah, what do you think, Offside Footy F1? Like, do you think my team is too template? I would say 8 of the players are template, like Raya, Senesi, maybe Van de Ven, Gabriel, Semenyo, Reinders, Bruno, Haaland, João Pedro. I'm going to take Van de Ven out there. So I would say 8 of those players, at least that's in my starting 11. In my starting 11, 7 or 8 of them are pretty template. But what do you think it's not? Do you think it's not differential enough? Let me know what you think. Varfield, just a prediction on Paro, not heard it anywhere. Oh, you were just predicting that Paro wouldn't start. Yeah, I wouldn't go shouting that out because, I mean, unless you have some evidence, yeah, I'm not sure. I'd be shouting that out because I'd expect Paro to start, Nikolai says, hi mate, please help me on who to bench. Feel this one is difficult. Senesi, Gvardiol, Tarkowski, Gabriel, or the template mids. I'd be benching Gabriel there. Senesi's got a great fixture, so does Gvardiol and Tarkowski. Gabriel's the only one without a great fixture. He is in the best defence, but you just look at the clean sheet odds and, your 3 players have better, maybe not, actually no, Bournemouth don't have as good clean sheet odds as Arsenal, but I just back Senesi to do well anyways. Hi, when would you play Bench Boost? I'm not planning for Bench Boost. I refuse to plan for Bench Boost this season. I refuse it. I'm just going to let it happen when it happens. If I see I have a really bad benching headache, it's time to Bench Boost. That's basically it. So I'm trying not to think too much about it or plan for it with my wildcard. Estone Kamau, what will Man City do that Liverpool didn't do against Burnley despite the late goal? Yeah, listen, it's a good point. The only thing is Burnley have the most XG conceded in the league. I know Liverpool didn't do too well against them, but Man City don't struggle too much with low blocks is my only thing. They're really good at breaking down low blocks, which they have had to do for the past 3 to 4 to 5 seasons in a row. So they're well drilled in that regard, and yeah, I still expect Man City to score many goals against Burnley here. 5+ goals is my prediction. Okay, here's your wildcard team, Anachronism. You have Raya, Dubravka, Gvardiol, Gabriel, Romero, Senesi, Alderete / Rodon. Excuse me one sec. Excuse me, guys. And then in your midfield, you've got Ndai, Semenyo, Bruno, Stack, Haaland, Pedro, Gyökeres. What are the changes you think you need right now? Honestly, that's a very, very strong team. I think it's very template, and that means it's very strong because the template is so strong. Like, maybe Stack is the only one that I'm not sure. I would maybe replace Stack with Dewsbury Hall, but other than that, everyone's a good pick in that team. Like, everyone is a good pick. And I like the Romero shout too. Okay, Hadley, Walton, Salah, Palmer, and Giu to Haaland, Semenyo, and Ndai. Any recommendations, sir? I love that. I love those 3 transfers. If you're doing those 3 transfers for even for a hit, I would still do that. Because Palmer's not going to play. Giroud's not going to play. I know taking Salah out for a hit is not ideal, but yeah, Salah, Palmer, and Giroud to Haaland and Semenyo and Ndiaye, that's a massive upgrade. Yeah, I love that. I really like that move. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you can do when you're you know, when you get rid of Salah and Palmer. You have so much budget. Sorry, let me just check something real quick, guys. Okay. While I'm checking this, I might ask you guys to just drop a like on the stream if you're enjoying it. I never usually ask people to like the stream, but yeah, apparently it helps for me anyways. If I want to keep doing this as a side gig, most of you guys know this is not my full-time job. I just do this for fun. Oh, we got a super chat. Bob Jaburi, thank you so much, man. Welcome to the stream. You've got Foden. The question is Foden and Burn or Ndiaye and Gvardiol on Wildcard. Okay, so you would bench Burn and play Gabriel and Raya today. 3 free transfers in Game Week 7. Thank you for your brilliant content. Wow, Bob, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate that. To answer your question, I really like the Foden pick this game week. I think he's the second best captain option. And I'm struggling to swallow the fact that I don't have him. It's just because if I didn't have Gvardiol in my squad and there was no Man City options in defence, I would definitely have Foden over Xavi Simons. But yeah, I'm jealous of you. I think you should go for the Foden and Burn pick. And then bench and Burn to play Gabriel and Raya. Not the end of the world. You're going to play Raya anyways, but yeah, I mean, Gabriel against Newcastle, they still have great clean sheet odds, as you can see on the graphic here from Rob T. Shout out to him. But yeah, still a great pick. Still a great pick, man. Okay, let me just get my app up so I can see the rest of your guys' comments. Okay. Because I'm starting to lose them on my screen here. You guys are going too quick. Or I'm not going fast enough is what I should say. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, I'll just go through the ones that I can see on the screen for now. Who would you favour from Sunderland? 4 million options. Alderete or Mukiele? I just think I've gone for Alderete. I haven't put too much thought into it. Apparently Mukiele can move to right back, which is why his appeal for me has lessened slightly, just because then he wouldn't be getting DEFCON points as much. So Alderete is locked in to play the centre back role. Karam, would you start Watkins or Wood? I'd start Wood. I'd be benching Watkins, unfortunately. Marcus, is Cunha worth it on a wild card? Cunha or Mbumo or Foden? I would go for Foden between those 3. I just think he's a much better pick than the other Man United mids. But if it was between Cunha and Mbumo, I'd go Mbumo. Matt Taylor, anyone fancy Rangers captain? Yeah, I mean, it's a risky one, but could pay off. Could pay off. He's just not Erling Haaland, is he? Edvin Johnson, Tarkowski or Gvardiol? Gvardiol for sure. Yeah, Gvardiol for sure. Simon, to answer your question about the rest of your team, you have Tarko, Lacroix, Senesi, Chalobah, and 4 million Sunderland defender to be confirmed. Yeah, I mean, you have a great team, man. Solid team. The fact that you've been able to fit all those premium options in and still have Tarkowski, Lacroix, and Senesi and Chalobah, that's a great team. Oliver McFeely says, hi mate, would you start Watkins or Wood this week? I'd be starting Wood, I think. Stephen Gill, I feel like we live in a bubble, but when you look at the percentage owned of each player, I think it's still differential. This is true. We are in an FPL content bubble, so a lot of these template picks are still kind of low ownership in the grand scheme of the game. Oh, you've got Pope in goals as well, Simon. Wow, nice one. Edvin Johnson says, Caicedo, Enzo or Gravenberch? I would go for Enzo there, if money wasn't an issue. And then I would rank Enzo or Caicedo second and then Gravenberch third. Patrick Flory, my differentials are Donnarumma, Strand Larson and Eze. Yeah, I like it, man. 3 good picks, to be honest. Maybe not the Strand Larson pick, but I mean, look at their expected goals, projected goals here. I'm not sure about the Strand Larson pick, but listen, that's a differential and that's what they're there for. They're differentials for a reason. Dan Frey, reckon benching João Pedro, Saka, or Rangers this week? Oh, to be honest, it would have to be João Pedro. Like, you're not going to bench Rangers, and you're not going to bench Saka. It's got to be João Pedro against Brighton at home. Because we have heard that slight doubt about his minutes, you know? Just the fact that he didn't train until yesterday. Okay, Yassine says Bruno, Foden, Calafiori, Petrovic, or Foden and Mbumo, Gabriel, Vicario. So it's Bruno, Calafiori, Petrovic, or Mbumo, Gabriel, Vicario. I like the first one, to be honest, with Bruno. Yeah, I like that one, man. Offside Footy F1. I think João Pedro would play as a 10 again after Palmer injury. Maybe Evan Nilsson to Richarlison is a punt, but Solanke will come after international break. One Newcastle defender should be there. Love your Xavi pick. Good team. Yeah, thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I've had a Newcastle player. I've had Dan Burn in my team literally since last weekend when I wildcarded, and I've just bottled it and gone for Gvardiol instead. I just was like, looking at the rotation with the rest of my defenders, with Gabriel, like Gvardiol just fits into there so nicely. And then my plan, if you actually look at my video from, was it yesterday or the day before, I have Dan Burn coming in game week 10. So Newcastle will be in my team shortly, but the next few fixtures, I just wasn't going to play him that much. But yeah, the Richarlison pick is one that I'm very tempted by. It's just like João Pedro is so highly owned, and maybe I should just go for it anyways. But I'd be banking a transfer because I'm already banking Evan Nilsson to Gyökeres next week. I don't want to bank too many transfers. We'll see though. We will see. Okay, wildcard active. Opoku says Vicario with 6 million in the bank, or Raya with 0.1 million in the bank. Forwards are João Pedro or Richarlison. Yeah, I mean, I would go for Raya and João Pedro there if you can afford that. I think they're two better picks. Anachronism. Basically, I kept Stack because of Burnley fixture in Game Week 8 because I want a bench boost that week, and suggest my best 4 million defender for bench boost A, Alderete, Rodon, Gudmundsson. I mean, I would go for, if they play Burnley in Game Week 8, then I would go for Rodon there. Yeah, I would go for Stack and Rodon. So I see what you mean with the Stack pick then. I understand completely. If you're bench boosting in Game Week 8, then yeah, I like the Leeds picks there. Nikolai, really appreciate your streams and the fact that you reply to everybody. Been seeing your vids since start of last season. So nice. Last stream I asked about getting Isak in. What's your thoughts now? Well, I really appreciate that, Nikolai. I mean, yeah, I do my best to answer everyone here. Thankfully, there's not too many of you guys that I can get to that. Maybe I'll get to a point one day where there is too many, but I'll always remember some of the names. Like I recognize most of your guys' names from coming back to the streams consistently, so really appreciate that message. Thoughts on Isak? I think people are sleeping on Isak slightly. There's just been so many comments from Arne Slot about how his minutes are going to be reduced, how not reduced, but they're going to stay low, how they're going to keep managing his minutes, and it's just like, I'm not going to spend 10.5 million on a forward that isn't going to play every single minute. That's my only thought on him. But if he was guaranteed 90 minutes, I'd be ripping my team apart to get him in. I would be, because I think he's that good of a player. Lewis, Haaland or Foden as captain? It's got to be Haaland, but I do think Foden's the second best captain this week. Runar says, would you transfer in Semenyo or Foden? Will wildcard next week? As a 1 week punt then, I would go for Foden. Yeah, I'd go for Foden as a 1 week punt. Aidan Wellens, Saka, Guehi or Fernandez, Tarkowski? I like Fernandez, Tarkowski there, to be honest, if I had to pick. It's quite close though. Zach McParlin, on wildcard 6-2, so tempted by transferring Pedro out for Richie. Can you convince me not to? I'm not sure if I can convince you not to, because I might be doing it myself, hence the poll. Oh, we've got a super chat from Marin Capiche. Really appreciate that, man. Thanks so much. You say, congrats, Stephen. You're the first person ever that I'm donating money to. Keep up the good work. Another reason is this question reading time, lol. Man, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, I really appreciate that. So I'll go with your comments down below straight away then. So Marin has Raya and Dubravka in nets, Gabriel, Virgil, Gvardiol, Senesi. That's a strong back line. You've got Bruno, Reinders, Ndai, Semenyo, then Gyökeres, Haaland, João Pedro, and then two budget, You got a 4.4 mil defender and 3.9 mil defender and 0 in the bank. So you've just been able to fit this team in perfectly. It's template, but I'm sitting at 400k and already used bench boost. So feeling comfortable playing it like that with Senesi in the first 11. Mate, you're 400k. That's insane. Congrats on that. That's huge. Yeah, if you're 400k, then going for the most template team is like the optimal play, because no one's going to be able to catch you then. Your only concern is defense. Would you swap Van Dijk with someone else, Tarkowski, Anderson, Spurs, and use an extra 0.5 mil to boost budgets? I mean, let's look at your team. So you have Bruno, Reinders, and Dai Semenyo. Like, none of those players I would even need to. You don't really need to boost any of those guys. Who's your forward? Who's your last forward? That's maybe what I'll ask you, is who your third forward is, because you have obviously Haaland and João Pedro up top, but if you can maybe get someone up, I'm not sure who you have. I'm waiting for the comment to load here. You've got let me know who you have as your third forward, and I'll answer some other questions while I wait for that. Varfel, do you think Wood will start after Igor 2 goals? Yeah, listen, it's a bit of a concern for Wood owners, but he plays, Sunderland at home. I think you got to start Wood and just trust that he'll start like he has every game this season. Jonesy, Chats Wrestling, how's it going, man? You said, are you triple captain, and who would you pick for this week, Enzo or Caicedo? So I'm not triple captain because I wildcarded, but I would be triple captain in Haaland if I hadn't wildcarded, and if I had Haaland, of course. And then what was your other question? Sorry, you said Enzo or Caicedo? I'd go for Enzo for sure. Jonathan says, why not Gyökeres? I'm just trying to be a bit different. But my plan is to get Gyökeres in next week. That is my plan. Joe T. Bradford just took a 4-point hit changing Salah and Watkins to Haaland and Bruno. Is that worth it? Yeah, for sure it is. 100%. I don't know why I even hesitated for a second there, because that is a good upgrade. Getting Haaland in this week is just, it's worth the -4. It is worth the -4. So triple captain Haaland this week or against Leeds at home? Yeah, I think go for this week. Like, I know there is the slight injury concerns with him, but Burnley has been so poor. So poor. Rainey, you should take out Xavi for Foden. Yeah, I mean, it's playing on my mind. I just can't. I would have to take Vardy out as well. And I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. I quite like Vardy as a pick in my team. And G says, do you think triple captain Foden instead of Haaland would be crazy? I do think it is bordering on crazy, if I'm completely honest with you. It's you're getting there, you're getting there, but it's not the craziest thing I've ever heard in FPL. You said great draft, Dan Burnett. Thanks for that, mate. Xavi or Kudus? I mean, if budget isn't an issue, I just prefer Xavi slightly as a bit of a differential pick. Kudus is quite popular, so yeah. I mean, I've got to go for my differential Xavi. I've also just really liked watching him play. Jeevan Gill says, start Stack or Gyökeres this week. I'd be starting Gyökeres for sure. Yeah, I'd start Gyökeres. Offside Footy F1, who would you start, mate? Semenyo, Leeds at home, is a defensive tank, agreed, versus Sarr. Sarr has scored 2 goals in his last 2 against Liverpool. Yeah, I'd go for Semenyo. To be honest, I would go for Semenyo just because, like, I do like Sarr against Liverpool, and that was kind of the narrative I was going for as well when I had Sarr, was like, it's okay, I can still play him against Liverpool because Sarr loves to score against good teams, but I'm just not sure. Like, I know Glasner has cleared him to start, etc. His minutes may be slightly managed. That's my only concern. And, like, Semenyo does play Leeds, who just got promoted, so you would hope that Semenyo plays 90 minutes against Leeds will do better than Sarr, who plays maybe 60, 70 against Liverpool. And then your other question was Rodon versus Richards for first sub if Murillo doesn't play. So apparently Murillo has been in individual training. So I do think you should think this one through. Between Rodon and Palace, I mean, you look at their clean sheet odds here. Leeds with Rodon are 25%. Palace are 18%. Oh, that's a tough one. I'd maybe just go for... I'd probably just back the clean sheet odds and go for Rodon. Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Speaking of, Leeds being a defensive tank at home, do you think my Evan Nilsson 1 week punt is viable, or should I just go for Richarlison instead? Honestly, I'm tempted to just get Richarlison in for João Pedro. I am very tempted. Oh God, am I being crazy with that one? It may be a bit of, it may be madness, but we'll see. God. Right. Oh, you've got Marin, only defense is concerned. You've got Gyökeres and... Oh, Marin, you said Gyökeres is your other forward, but I was wondering who your third forward is. Like, who's your bench forward? Because maybe you could upgrade him. But I'm not sure if it's necessarily a priority. The rest of your team looks nice, man. Okay, what do you think of Minta, Stephen Gill? I like Minta as a pick. I do. I just think that Brighton's maybe not the best time to get them is this week. I do like Brighton going forward, though. Stephen Gill, Foden and Burn instead of Xavi and Gvardiol. Yeah, I may be doing that. I could do that. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll do a new poll. Should I do a new poll? I do like Xavi as a pick, though. That's my only thing. I'm like, do I prefer Xavi and Foden? No, I'm going to stick with my gut and stick with Xavi and Gvardiol. Yeah. I know Foden is so high upside this game week, but it would mean starting Gabriel against Newcastle, and I'm just not too sure if they, it's a tough one. But Newcastle, look at their projected goals. Newcastle's projected goals are so low, and Arsenal's, oh man, Arsenal's clean sheet odds are 5th this game week. It's not the easiest decision for me. Maybe I'll start a new poll. Let's start a new poll, guys. I'm going to go off of this graphic for a second and open up my stream. Everyone says no for João Pedro for Richarlison. So that's at least I have confirmation on that one. Let's look at this. Okay. It's because I'm full screen. Let me get this going and then boom. Here we go. Okay. Let's add another. Let's do another poll. So I'll do I'll say pick one. Let's go Gvardiol and Foden. No, Gvardiol and Xavi, or Burn and Foden. All right, guys. Let's see what you think about that one. Let us see what you think about that one. Oh, you guys can't even see it. That's great. There we go. Boom. Okay. New poll started, guys. Let's see what you think. Let me know what you think about that one. I'll keep going through your questions until then. Juan Manuel Vasquez says, hi, for me a difficult one. Who to bench between Tarkowski, Senesi, Porro, Milenkovic? Thank you. Have a nice day. You know what? It may be... I mean, you'd want to start all of them, but maybe you'd be benching... I'm thinking Milenkovic or... Milenkovic? Is it? Yeah, Milenkovic, I would say. Oh, but they play Sunderland at home. Yeah, that's a really tough one, honestly. Maybe it's Senesi. Just based off the clean sheet odds I'm looking at, like, Senesi has the lowest out of all those guys, so might have to be him. But yeah, if you guys are voting on the poll, let me know what you think. And also, I know I've said it already, but if you guys can drop a like on the stream, that would be huge for me. Yeah, really appreciate that. If you guys could drop a like and also subscribe if you guys haven't already. Like, maybe some of you guys have been watching some of the streams, coming into some of the videos. If you're not subscribed yet, then I'd really appreciate it. We are aiming for 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so bit of a lofty goal, but you got to shoot for the stars, don't you? All right, Jonesy chats wrestling. Thanks, mate. Any score predictions for the United game? I really hope Mbumo and Fernandes can score for us. I see a nice little 2-0 win for United. I don't see United scoring too many goals, but yeah, I could see 2-0 for United. Bruno goal and assist. Let's hope. Okay, Wasim, choose 3 stars between Wood, João Pedro, Porro, Dorgu, Harry Wilson. Wood, Porro, João Pedro, and bench Dorgu and Harry Wilson, I would say. Aidan Wellens, Gvardiol and Richards or Senesi, Tarkowski? I'd say Gvardiol and Richards there. Yeah. Jonathan says, aren't you concerned about Xavi's minutes? And also, how are you getting Gyökeres next week? Yeah, I am not too concerned about Xavi's minutes, just with all the injuries Spurs have. I think Xavi will play. And then about Gyökeres, I'm going to do Evan Nielsen to Gyökeres next week. That's my plan. That is my plan. Nihar, Jonesy says, Grealish or Caicedo? I'd got to go for Grealish there, to be honest, if money wasn't an issue. Between Gakpo, Eze and João Pedro, who would you bench and Chuffer be the better pick instead of Senesi? I do think Senesi is the better pick. Between Gakpo, Enzo and João Pedro, I'd probably be benching maybe Eze there, unfortunately. Plug Boy Varm says, you don't like any Liverpool players, the games coming up look decent. Yeah, I mean, listen, not having any Liverpool players in this draft is diabolical, but I've got to make room somewhere, and I just couldn't find anyone that I really, really wanted to get in my team right now. But I do have plans to get Liverpool players in from game week 10 or even 12 onwards. That is my current plan. Anderson and Foden or Xavi and Gvardiol decisions, says Rainey. I quite like Xavi and Gvardiol there. Maybe I'm biased because I've already got them in my team. Legend says, would you get Van de Ven and Bruno or Tarkowski and Bumo? 100% Van de Ven and Bruno. Yep. Jeevan Gill, I think Evan Nielsen is the one who gets the goals against Leeds, and I think Semenyo blanks. Yeah, let's hope. I would love that, actually, because not a lot of people have Evan Nielsen, and yeah, I would love if Semenyo was the one to blank and Evan Nielsen was the one to score. Okay. Edwin says, Gvardiol, Caicedo and João Pedro or Burn, Foden and Richarlison. I would say Gvardiol, Caicedo, João Pedro it's probably stronger. Yeah, I would say that's stronger in terms of minutes and going forward. I like that one. Marine Capiche, João Pedro, Haaland, Gyökeres. Mate, that's a solid team. You've got a solid team. Yeah, I don't even know how you're affording that. That's insane. Jonathan Claridge, how are you getting in Gyökeres next week? Oh, sorry, I answered that. I'm upgrading Evan Nielsen. Sean, so Rodgers and Sarr or Foden and Rangers have free transfers and wildcarding in game week 8. Is triple City attack too much? 100% get Rodgers and Sarr out for Foden and Rangers. Do that now. Do that now. Like, Sarr is a good pick, but Foden and Rangers against Burnley at home. Going triple City attack is the play. Do it, man. Do that transfer right now. Nikolai says, I support your Richarlison 1 week punt. Think you're not going to regret it. A great possibility to catch up, but mate, we are still early in the season also. No panic is difficult though. Yeah, true. I'm panicking. Like, I'm 6 million, then I'm thinking of getting Richarlison, and that is next level delusion. Anachronism. Xavi and Richards in my previous wildcard, or keep the same Romero and Ndai. Xavi is tempting if he plays full match. If I get Xavi, I play Gabriel, and for Romero, I bench Gabriel and start Romero. I think Romero and Ndai is probably the safer pick, you know? I like Xavi, but I think the first one, you're being smarter with that one. And it lets you bench Gabriel and start Romero, which I also like as well. So, Hale, welcome to the stream, my man. Your wildcard team is Raya, Gvardiol, Anderson, Senesi. Okay, nice. In midfield, you got Semenyo, Rangers, Bruno, Ndai. And then up top, Gyökeres, João Pedro, Haaland. You've got Dubravka, Gabriel, Stack, Alderete. Okay, yeah, love it. I mean, it's very similar to mine, which I obviously love. And then you've also said Ndai and João Pedro or Foden and Richarlison. Oh, man. Foden and Richarlison all day. I feel like, Richarlison, I can't believe we're talking about Richarlison. But, yeah, I mean, I really like... Ndai and João Pedro is like... They are probably better FPL picks. They're definitely better FPL picks than Foden and Richarlison. But over the next few fixtures, like, you look at Spurs' next few fixtures, and man, I like Richarlison as a pick, and obviously Foden is so good, like, for these next few. So I would say high upside pick is Foden and Richarlison, and I'm always a risk taking manager, so I'm gonna go for that. So, Hale, what do you think? I mean, I had a poll, I had a poll up earlier, which you may have missed, which was whether I should do João Pedro to Richarlison. Because, obviously, we saw those comments from Maresca that, you know, João Pedro maybe isn't gonna, he only trained yesterday, I think, for the first time with the team. So he was absolutely knackered after the Man United fixture. I'm so tempted to just get João Pedro out for Richarlison, and then maybe get him back in like, game week 9, because he plays Liverpool next game week anyways. Should I just go for it? I'm going to see what it looks like. Let me see what it looks like in my team. Okay. I can't seem to get the screen to show it, but I may... Guys, I may do it. There is a chance that I do this, and it just feels insane. It feels absolutely insane, but I may get Richarlison in. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Am I being deluded? It may be a bit delusional, honestly. I can't seem to show my other screen for some reason. But yeah, I'll keep answering you guys' questions. That's what I'll focus on for now. Okay. And also, let me see what the stream is saying for this poll. It's 50. It's basically 50-50 on the poll. Guardiola, Xavi, or Burn and Foden. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. So Hale, you said, yeah, I saw that. It's tempting, and I think Krellin has gone for it too. I believe he has Foden and Richarlison in, which is tempting me. Oh, Ben Krellin has gone for João Pedro to Richarlison. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. Let me see, because obviously Ben Krellin is a great FPL manager, so anything he does is usually a good sign. A good sign. Let's see what he's gone for. Okay, Ben Krellin, where's his team? Not sure where you're seeing that. Maybe he has. Oh, I think if you're subscribed to Hub, you can see it. But yeah, listen. Anyways, yeah, I quite like the Richarlison pick. Oh God, should I just go for it? I'm gonna get Richarlison in. Go on, son. Go on, son. Let me message my mate as well who has him. Okay. I'll ask him. Did you see the João Pedro comments from Maresca? I've gone JP to Richarlison. Last minute. This isn't peak delusion, lads. Okay. Lads, I've gone and done it. Yeah. João Pedro out, Richarlison in. Come on. Alright. I'm trying to figure out how I can show you guys this, because for some reason my stream isn't showing my other page. Let's see what is going on there. Okay. And I'll show this. All right, I'll just keep answering your questions, and you guys will see my team next week. But yeah, basically I've done João Pedro for Richarlison. Okay, moving on. Did you go Foden too, Sohail? No, I didn't go for Foden, unfortunately. I'm keeping Xavi because if I got Foden out, I would have to do Gvardiol out too, and that's just not something I'm necessarily going to do. So yeah, I'm going to keep Xavi in instead of Foden, but I really like Foden as a pick. Triple City is definitely the play, I think. Triple City in some shape or form is the play. Hugo, spam in the chat. You don't have to do that, mate. I'll get to you. You say Gyökeres, Ndiaye and Richards, or Calvert-Lewin, Saka and Burn. Gyökeres, Ndiaye, Richards, 100%. Yeah. I'm not too keen on the Calvert-Lewin pick. Yeah, if I've got to be honest. But yeah, you can stop spamming the chat now. All right, Marin Capiche. So back to question: would you swap Virgil van Dijk with someone else, Tarkowski, Anderson, Spurs, and use the extra 0.5 to boost budget, or would you keep Virgil van Dijk? Yeah, I didn't see the third forward there. No, I think Van Dijk is a great pick. I think you should keep Van Dijk. And to be honest, looking at the rest of your team, I was trying to think like where would you upgrade with that 0.5 million, and I thought maybe you didn't have a great third forward, but mate, like your team looks solid. Your team looks really solid. So I know I wouldn't go for Tarkowski, definitely. The only one I would be tempted by potentially is Romero instead of Van Dijk. But I mean, listen, Van Dijk's always going to have a chance of a clean sheet. And his DEFCON has been amazing as well. So I think keeping Van Dijk in there to save yourself a potential transfer down the line, I like that one. Yeah, I like just holding on to Van Dijk. Guys, while I have you, 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go in the stream. If you're enjoying the stream, then drop a like and also subscribe if you haven't already. Any other questions, guys? I'll try to fly through all these ones because we only have 10 minutes left. Lads, West Ham sack Graham Potter, by the way. I don't know, did you guys see that? I've just got a notification on my phone. I don't know when this was posted, but I mean, it was probably posted ages ago. Yeah, West Ham have sacked Graham Potter. They're going to have, either that means they have a new manager bounce, or they're just absolutely shocking. I mean, they have been shocking anyways, so how much worse can it get? Yanarsify, is João Pedro not starting? No, I do think João Pedro will start. I just think that he won't play the full game, considering he only just trained, with the team yesterday. So yeah, or even the day before. So I think João Pedro will start, but maybe not play the full match. Because bear in mind, guys, like Enzo Fernandez can play in the 10 as well. So can Estevao. Like, they do have options. They do have options. So I'm just going to go for it and hope that João Pedro does nothing, because he is my biggest rank killer and has been all season. And I'm still going without him. Like, what am I doing? I know he's on my screen now. If you're just joining the stream, it's because I have transferred João Pedro out for Richarlison. But this is what I'm going for anyways. This is what I'm going for right now. Leo says, which transfer should I do with my 1.4 million? Sorry, I haven't seen the rest of your team, so I'm not particularly sure. Ethan says, Evan Nielsen or Richarlison? I prefer probably Richarlison, honestly. It's a close one, though. I've had Evan Nielsen in my team all week, and now I'm saying Richarlison's better, but yeah, maybe I'm just hopping on that hype train. I do think Richarlison's fixtures are just so good, and Leeds aren't a bad defence either. So yeah, I'd go for Richarlison. Abdallah says, hi, start Wood or Dewsbury Hall? I'd start Wood there. Start the penalty taker, always. Rainey says, Anderson or Richards on Wildcard? I think both are good picks. Depends on the rest of your defence and who you're rotating in and out. But based off solely just like who's a better FPL pick, I would say Anderson is. Akin says on Wildcard, bench Gabriel or Gyökeres? You got Van de Ven, Tarkowski, Senesi. I'd be benching Gabriel because Gyökeres, the upside are so much better. Brighton have conceded the most chances from striker. It's also João Pedro's former team. I think João Pedro goal is very likely, says Jeevan Gill. Yeah, listen, I'm worried about that. I am worried about that, but I just think Richarlison, look at the projected goals. What am I doing? Should I just get João Pedro back in? Let me check one thing real quick. João Pedro. I mean, I may have made a huge mistake going for João Pedro. Or sorry, getting rid of João Pedro. The thing is, I'd be tempted to bench João Pedro next week anyways. Like with the Liverpool fixture. So I mean, that is obviously a concern for me. I'd have such a benching headache if I got Richarlison in though. Maybe I just hold on to João Pedro and stop with this delusional Richarlison talk. Yeah, like you said, Richarlison long term is not the guy. He just isn't the guy long term, But as a short term pick, he could be clutch, Lads, I'm just gonna hold on to João Pedro. I think, like, he should be all right. He should be all right. I'm gonna stick João Pedro back in there and stop with this delusional talk. So this is actually my team now. I've gone back for João Pedro. I mean, I'm going back and forth on this, but now that I've got him out, I'm like, I kind of want Richarlison back. Offside Footy F1, you've said Wolves have the second highest expected goals conceded from striker and left wing. Richarlison, Kudus are favoured by stats. Yeah, fair enough. All right, I'm going to make my final decision now. And I'm not even going to tell you guys what it is. I'm going to make my decision, and you guys will have to figure out what it is. The decision is basically João Pedro or Richarlison. Also, I could consider just getting rid of Evan Nielsen. You know, I could do that. That is something. Yeah, lads, Potter has been sacked. That's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? I mean, what the hell? That is madness. Potter sacked. Or did he resign or did he get sacked? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? That's some breaking news for you guys. This is where you get the breaking news. Yanarsify says Evan Nielsen isn't even on pens anymore. Yeah, true. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's the best FPL pick in the world, but yeah. I just like him for this game week. To be honest, my plan is to do Evan Nielsen to Gyökeres next week anyways. So I'll have to think about that one. I'll have to think about it. Now that I've got Stephen Gill, he's deleted his team. I wish, mate. I wish. Oh man, it is the best chip in the game. Just deleting your team. Oh lads. Yeah, I'll show you guys my move at the end of the stream. You'll be able to see, or I'll just let you know whenever the deadline is passed. But for now, I'll keep trying to get some of your questions in. Ike says, Kudus, Fernandez, Semenyo, Reinders, and Dye, Wood, Tarkowski. Which 5 to start? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You need to bench 2 of these guys. That is tough. Wood and Tarkowski, maybe? Maybe? You'd want to start Kudus, Fernandez, Semenyo, Reinders, and then Dye. So yeah, it would be Wood and Tarkowski to bench. Start the other 5. Tiku, thoughts on Doku versus Dewsbury Hall? Yeah, I mean Doku has much higher upside if budget isn't an issue. Mohammed Hasib Hassan Khan says bench 1 Bruno, Kudus, Reinders, Ndai, João Pedro, Richarlison. Oof. You're benching 1 there. I'd probably bench. That's so tough. You're going to want to start Bruno, Kudus, Reinders, Ndai, and Richarlison. So maybe you bench João Pedro. Maybe bench João Pedro there. That's unfortunate, but I think so. Jay says Gyökeres or João Pedro bench. Again, that's so tough, but I think I'd probably bench maybe João Pedro there as well. You said with João Pedro you only have 1 million in the bank, not enough for Gyökeres. Yeah, I can get Gyökeres with some of the money I have in the bank. Yeah, for sure. Jeffrey says stack to Minta if the full template and you can afford it. If on the full template. Yeah, I like that. Just to try differentiate a bit. If you can't afford it, then I quite like it as a pick. Guys, lock your teams in. We only have 1 minute to go. Lock those teams in. Absolutely lock them in. Nathan, Strand Larson or Paquetá? I like maybe just slightly Paquetá. Slightly. Not huge on either of them, but I think Paquetá is a decent pick. Ruben Diaz and Senesi or Richards Gvardiol? I like Diaz Senesi. Guys, that is the deadline. That is the deadline. I'm going to screenshot my team real quick. Deadline is up, so hopefully all you guys got your teams sorted. Let's see what you've decided on the poll in the end. It was, I mean, it's pretty close and it's still changing. We've got lots of votes coming in. Guys, if you're just coming into the stream as well, drop a like if you want. And yeah, really appreciate you guys coming in, and subscribe if you enjoyed the stream. I'm going to stick around for a few minutes just to see. Guys, the vote is completely, it's like 51%, 49%. That is crazy. But it is the extra percentage is towards Gvardiol and Xavi, which is what I went for in the end. So Oh, Baba Goni says, I've gone for the triple captain on Haaland this week. What are your thoughts? Love it, man. Love it. Really like it. Go for it. Mohammed, I benched out Pedro already. Yeah, nice. Nice one, man. Khalid says, Reinders, Enzo, and Dewsbury Hall, Calvert-Lewin. Okay, nice one. Jeevan Gill, what do you think of Verts as a 1 week punt for FPL Challenge? I'm 53rd in the world right now. You're 53rd in the world in FPL Challenge. What? That's crazy. I've never even played it. Jeevan, you did Evan Nielsen to Richarlison, didn't you? Not quite. No, maybe I did nothing. Maybe I did nothing, and you guys are just. Do you want to hear what I went for? I suppose now that the deadline has passed, let me try to figure out what's going on with my stream real quick, because I haven't actually been able to change what is on the screen. So let me just go here, video capture device, boom, boom, and properties. Okay. No, that's not good. We'll go back to this. Oh, here we go, here we go. All right, you guys want to see my team? Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I did João Pedro to Richarlison. And I've still got Evan Nielsen. So basically I've banked a few transfers, and that is like the sin of FPL, is to bank transfers, but I've gone for it. I've gone for it. Focal has raided my stream yet again. This guy keeps raiding my streams. Oscar, you're an absolute legend. Yeah, guys, as you can see, any of the Focal fans, listen to Focal. Don't listen to me, because you're coming in and seeing my stream. I mean, my team. I have Richarlison, Evan Nielsen, and Haaland up top, which is just absolutely diabolical. So, Focal raid, come on in, guys. Welcome to the stream. Cheers, Oscar. Hope you have a good stream, brother. You too, man. I hope you have a good weekend. And don't look at my forward line. Just look away. Look away. Look away from this whole wild card, because it's, you know. I went, Oscar, if you're here, I went João Pedro to Richarlison basically with like 3 minutes to go. Just bottled it, essentially. So let's see. Offside footy F1. You said João Pedro will haul this game week. Evan Nielsen 2-pointer incoming. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Listen, FPL is all about having a bit of fun, isn't it? I just hope João Pedro gets, you know, a few minutes and then dips. We will see though. Yeah, I may have bottled it, lads. May have slightly bottled it. But having a bit of fun, lads. If you're coming into the stream from Focals, welcome in. Thanks for that. Yeah, big balls move going João Pedro to Richarlison. Had to be done. But yeah, drop a like on the stream if any of you Focal fiends are in here. Maybe I'll start calling you guys that, Focal fiends. Yeah, I see a few people looking at this team and thinking, what is going on here? Yeah, it's not ideal. Not ideal, but listen, FPL is all about having a bit of crack, isn't it, lads? Jeevan Gill, hopefully the pigeon saves you. Let's hope. Guys, if you like this team and if you're enjoying the stream, welcome in, first of all. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. I know, Oscar keeps raiding my stream, and every time he does it, I always forget to ask people to subscribe. I feel like I should take this chance to do it now. So I'm aiming for 10,000 subs by the end of the season. So let's see if some of you guys, if any of you guys can click that button and help me to even get halfway there. I'd be much appreciative of that. That'd be huge. And also just send some love for this team, because by God, I don't know what I've done. I've lost the head 10 minutes to go and just done João Pedro to Richarlison. For all of you guys coming in and, you know, looking at this and thinking what has gone wrong. I mean, listen, the team, I maybe be exaggerating a bit. The team is pretty template. Like, I've got Raya, Senesi, I've got Reinders, Semenyo, Bruno, Haaland. Other than that, I mean, the triple Spurs is pretty huge. Triple Spurs is pretty huge. Let's see how it works out for me. And I've got so much money in the bank, by the way. Check this out. I'm absolutely fucking rolling in it, boys. Oh, shit, I forgot that would happen. Yeah, let me just put this up here. Boom. There we go. I mean, not the best graphics for you guys coming into the stream. I know all these other FPL streamers have great graphics, so I don't want to fool you guys and make it look like this is actually my team. So while you're here, let me just, I mean, this is pretty unprofessional of me, lads. I know FPL Oscar would not be doing this kind of stuff on his stream, but let me just put my team in here real quick so you guys have something better to look at and actually can see my real team as opposed to what isn't my team. Here we go. And let me just download this. I'm going to stick around for another few minutes since you guys are all in here. Okay. FPL Fogel, 3-time top 1.5 finishes is crazy. Yeah, I don't know how I did that considering I've got this team now. So, listen, this season hasn't gone off great, but hopefully we can get another 1.5k finish. Otherwise, I think, Oscar, this this streak is just going to keep going up. I'll be like, oh, 4-time top 20k, 5-time top 50k. Sooner or later, I'll be like, yeah, I've got like 10 top millions. Don't worry about it. So, Hale, you sent your final wildcard team. You've got Raya, Tarkowski, Gabriel, Senesi, Foden, I like it, Reinders, Bruno, Ndai, Haaland, Gyökeres, Richarlison. Okay, you've joined me on the Richarlison train. This is what I like to hear. This is what I like to hear. Guys, if you're raiding from FPL Focal's stream, first of all, thanks for coming along. And Oscar, thanks again for doing that. I really appreciate it, man. But yeah, subscribe if you guys want to have some fresh FPL content. I mean, I do my best to upload once a week and do a stream every week. And like I said, I always do my best to answer everyone's questions in the stream. Do you not think you've booked in way too many transfers now? Yeah, so I do think I have. I do think I've booked in maybe one too many transfer, I would say. Not ideal, but as someone who's, you know, with my current rank, needed to go a bit different. Needed to go a bit different. Jordan Gibson, would you go Sarr or Rodgers? Rodgers is staying away from my team for the rest of the season. I don't want to see Rodgers or Watkins ever again in anywhere near my teams. Like, speaking of teams, I said that as if I have two teams, but it reminded me of someone in my comment section last week. He goes, mate, oh, no, it was this week. He goes, mate, I've been copying your team all season, and how do you have 0.7 million more than me? He was just like completely admitting to copying my team every week, and I was just like, mate, sorry about that. Like, sorry, what can I say? Price changes is a thing. I suppose they just didn't know what price changes were or didn't catch them in time. But yeah, I did actually make up 0.7 million with the price changes over this game week, which is huge for me on the wild card. So yeah, that was massive. But this guy was just like, mate, what the fuck? I can't copy your team anymore. I was like, serves you well, doesn't it? People who come on and just copy content creators' teams, I think it's quite funny, to be honest. I don't even care if people do it. Hence why I still share my team every week. Oh, FPL Hawk, hello, kind sir. Welcome to the stream, man. Good to have you in. Good to have you in. Mello, I've got Foden and Xavi. Hopefully a big haul. Damn, Foden and Xavi is nice. Oh no, FPL Hog, you were out drinking last night and you missed the deadline. Pretty sure you had Haaland on triple captain though. Hope I didn't change that while drunk. I mean, listen, it happens to the best of us. I mean, before I started streaming and before I started content, like, this is my second season doing it, but yeah, I used to always have like an alarm 10 minutes before the deadline every single week, and I would set it literally. I did that for like 3-4 seasons in a row. So yeah, it happens, but maybe next time set an alarm. But either way, you have Haaland triple captain, so you're going to outscore everyone this game week anyways. Stewie, picking Watkins is like catching a fallen knife. Mate is traumatized with Watkins Rodgers. Oh, lads. Yeah, I mean, it's... Someone says, how has everyone missed triple captain Foden? It's obvious. Don't know about that. Is it obvious? Yeah, it is. I do think, I've been saying all stream that Foden is the second best captain all week. Yeah. I'm a bit, upset that I didn't go for Foden in the end, but I wanted triple City, and the only way it worked was with Gvardiol in my defense with the rotations and everything that I have. So, listen, not ideal, but I've gone for it. Someone says Reinders or Caicedo for a long-term pick. I'd go for Reinders, man. I like Reinders as a pick there. Foden is obvious. Triple captain against a low block. Yeah, Haaland doesn't really do well against a low block, does he? But I had to captain. Haaland. He's just that guy, isn't he? All right, guys. 10 minutes past the deadline. I think that is my sign to call it quits. Thanks so much for coming into the stream. And yeah, I mean, we've made a last minute transfer, and I suppose hopefully, I mean, it's all for the content. That's my excuse. I'll be like, oh, I just did it for the content, lads. But yeah, here we go. Richarlison in. Let's see how this goes. It's going to be a fun game week, and I hope all of you guys can, all of your FPL dreams come true this weekend. Anyone on triple captain Haaland, I hope, I mean, I'm in a bit of a tough spot because I'm like, do I really want Haaland to do well? I suppose I do because I've captained him, but I think there's enough triple captainers to put me off. Someone's captained Richarlison. That is crazy. But it gives me assurance in my decision. But yes, guys, I am going to leave it there. This was a really, really fun stream. So thanks so much for coming along. And I'll say it one more time. But yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're enjoying the stream, yeah, give it a like. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hopefully everyone has a good game week, but not as good as mine.